to a bull market. Otherwise, this is going to be a painful rounding process for us.
Do you agree with that assessment, Akash, that there's one massive leg down which is coming, because over the last few weeks some confidence has grown that 4700 is the bottom and we'll maybe just toss around it but not violate it in any meaningful way?
That's a tough one. I mean, I think there's a possibility of one. I still feel that 47, 44, 45, somewhere in that range. I mean, maybe will hold reasonably. I think the correction will just be time, in the sense that what Manish is saying, which is that the market will just already you've seen trading volumes in India shrivel quite significantly. Already the mutual fund flows are mediocre. Insurance companies haven't got major flows. FII flows year to date are zero basically. So I think that already the apathy is starting. It is a time-based correction. It will continue being a time-based correction. It may not go to 4,000 index, and that probably I don't think will happen. It will probably be around 45, 47 in the bottom, somewhere around there. But I do agree with Manish, and I've said this point that this is going to take time, and I don't think the other dilemma is also this: that people who know India very well are very disappointed with what is happening on the ground in India on multiple fronts. People sitting in Europe or the US who don't know the markets as well, yes, Manish is right. A lot of them are saying that, why are you complaining? At least your economy is growing at 7%, our economy is growing at 1 or 2 or whatever. So that's the other dilemma, that even India may do poorly, may do only 6.5%, disappoint everybody in India and Asia, but still be good enough to attract flows from Europe and the US. I mean, that could happen. But I do believe that until we get more confidence in India and its future growth trajectory among corporate India, among investors, among bureaucrats, among decision makers, until that confidence again improves, then it's difficult to assume you're going to get into some very significant multi-year type of rally. You will get a cyclical rally, as we've all discussed, and I think everyone agrees, because of the Reserve Bank and interest rates and commodities coming down, etc., etc. But I don't think you're yet in a place where you're putting in the building blocks for a real long-term bull market until this confidence issue around India and governance is resolved. I don't see how you can get into a multi-year run of very significant upside unless people start feeling better about the direction this country is going in.
What about a possible global trigger, Samir, which galvanizes a big rally? Do you think what's being proposed in the EFSF plan has the muscle to spark off such a big global game-changing kind of a liquidity situation?
Well, for the last week or so, I have actually increased my net quite a bit. But I was not talking to you initially about week to week or even month to month kind of rallies. But as of now, tactically I am positioned for a sort of a relief rally in the world, because of which India will go up. But if it went up say 7-8% and therefore I went up 5%, it doesn't change anybody's life except for me to not feel overly bad in that month itself. And so from that angle, I expect that this rally could go on in the world and in India for a few more weeks. But that won't change anything beyond that, as of now at least. And even if it leads to massive short covering, which is what I think will start it and maybe end it, that would be for a month's performance meaningful. But it won't, I think, bring in new investors or new excitement in the world suddenly. That is the fear that I have, that it won't change an Indian retail investor who's looking at this program and suddenly saying that because the markets went up primarily because of short covering and went up in a very short period of time, 10%, that suddenly he will feel more confident about investing. For that, it's better, easier to have 2% rally a month for 5 months. You see, you said in the beginning of the program that Indian market was down 20%, not for the American investors. It was down nearly 30%. For our currency to be down 12% in 3 months, for it to weaken 2.5% in 2 days and then rally 20 basis points on Monday, I mean, what kind of signal we have? And I saw recently, as on Friday, that Indian FX reserves are actually up $18 billion this year. So it's not even that foreigners are redeeming, FIs are redeeming. It is just that in every field of economic management, we have just become holier than thou, and markets should decide, and global markets will decide. We should take some of our own policies in our own hands and show to the world what we are, rather than just being a lame duck in front of this world. So right now there can be a rally. I would hope for a rally because I have slightly less shorts and more longs than I had say a month ago. and that is because I didn't want to go into this phase with all bearishness and praying for bad things for the world. I would rather have a rally and change my mind over time. But it doesn't look like that today. There will be anything more than short covering. But I also will be hurt by it. Therefore, I have reduced some of the shorts, before going into the event. That's all.